Thank you. You're on.
Hi. How are you?
Good.
Are we elbow bumping? Can we elbow bump?
Oh, I was.
Hello, I'm Cameron.
Me too.
Nice to meet you.
You're who?
Cameron.
This is Cameron.
Whose birthday?
Oh, Ethan on Saturday's his birthday.
Happy.
I was like, you frightened me for a minute. I was like,
The Buxton National Historic Site and Museum is a tribute to the Elgin settlement, established in 1849 by Rev. William King in an association which included Lord Elgin, then the Governor-General of Canada. King, a former slave owner turned abolitionist, purchased 9,000 acres of Crown land in southwestern Ontario and created a haven for fugitive slaves and free blacks. King brought 15 of his former slaves with him, where they could live a free life. The Elgin settlement was divided into 50-acre lots. For many fugitive slaves, the Buxton settlement was the final stop on the Underground Railroad from the United States. Opened in 1967, the museum complex includes the main building with exhibits about the community and its history, an 1861 schoolhouse, an 1854 log cabin, and a barn. So this spot here is trying to represent where slaves were sold, or where the blacks that came off the ship were sold as slaves. And it would also show us what they wore, how they were auctioned off, what they were worth, like their equivalent, and how they could be sold off in bunches, not just like singular entities or beings. Which is insane at the first part because, one, you're objectifying humans, and two, you're basically saying like they're equivalent to cattle or something like that. Now we're given a physical representation of what it was like for them to be taken from the ships and the amount of room and space that they'd had.
Have to share this space with maybe one, maybe two, maybe three, maybe four, maybe five, maybe 6 people. So get in. I
got in, and I think was an experience that I couldn't put on film because for obvious reasons, but talking about it now and really thinking about it, I think it's a great experience because it shows you and really puts you in their shoes, and I think that by being in those shoes you really get a good sense of what they actually went through. Because I don't know, maybe it's also because I'm a kinesthetic learner, but I know for a fact that if I read that in a textbook or if I saw that in a film, I wouldn't feel the same sense of understanding as if I went into that box like I did. And the thing is, I went in with my brother, and the worst part is with us two alone we couldn't fit. And after that, we would have to have someone like my dad or someone else my size or someone else my brother's size in the same box.
Crammed it was. And again, I remind you, like this, you know, what they endured, like their stamina, that determination. You know, you can shackle my feet, my arms, but you're not going to shackle my mind, my heart, you know. That. Sometimes the bells, naturally they hear you running, or hooks that would get caught in the underbrush of the forest or the swamp they were running through. But Wilson Chin was a repeat runner, so they put a middle bar that's attached to the top of his neck harness, goes all the way down his back, hinged here so he can bend over, but it's also attached to his ankle shackles. So he was in this for 3.5 months working and sleeping.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Okay, so let's do a quick Coles Notes version. So us and Uncle Tom's Cabin and Chatham, so we're 3 of those stops. And actually we have the most places where blacks settled in Canada, actually. Mm-hmm. But our settlement is quite unique in the fact that it was 9,000 acres, and it was also classified as the most successful. So the largest and the most successful out of all the settlements. And the founder was a white minister. And through a variety of circumstances, he acquired 15 slaves. And due to some of the laws in the South, couldn't free them. He married into a slaveholding family, and he's thinking, now I can do something. But no, he couldn't. He also bought a farm, and with that farm came some slaves, and he inherited some. So, you know, he knows morally it's wrong. He goes back to school in Ireland, becomes a minister. And his first posting as a minister is to the Presbyterian Synod in Toronto. I'll stop here. You realize there was slavery here in Canada, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, do you know when it was abolished?
Yes. 18... Because in the States it was 1850, 1830, 1865,
1865.
1865.
Yeah,
so we were at
1863. There was this 1865. Was in Texas. That's when the Juneteenth. That's why they celebrate the Juneteenth because it wasn't until 1865 in Texas, but it was 1863.
Okay.
So it was here August the 1st, 1834.
Oh yeah, 34.
So that's why we celebrate that emancipation holiday because slavery was abolished here. People associate that August the 1st. It's a holiday, but they associate it mostly with Carabana.
What year? Sorry, what year?
1834.
1834. So now slavery is abolished. Okay, so, but the church in England, when they heard that here was this man coming to the land of freedom with these former slaves, they really didn't like that idea. So basically, he turned the tables on them and asked them where he could come with his former slaves for better opportunities. So this 9,000 acres, so actually you came off the 401. Okay,
Yeah.
so there's a dirt road that runs parallel to the 401. So that's how far north we go. And it goes all the way down to Lake Erie. So it was, 6 miles long, 3 miles wide. So all of that land at one time was totally black owned. Gentleman's farm, and he didn't realize it was that old. My husband knew it was that old. But there were several layers of insul brick siding that covered it. So you couldn't really tell it was that old until you took those layers off. But what's that? So we moved it less than a mile south of here. So 90% of the wood on the outside, that's 1850 black ash.
Yeah. There you go, Kim.
The foundation is new. It was sitting on 4 great big boulders when we moved it. And we had to rebuild the porch, and we had to replace the shingles. It was a tin roof when we moved it, but initially it was a hand-cut cedar-shaped shingle. So the regulations were homes had to be 18 by 12 by 24. This is it. You had to have a porch. You had to have at least 4 rooms. You had to have a flower garden, vegetable garden, a picket fence, and it had to be at least 33 feet back from the road. So this is how big they had to be. They could be bigger, but no smaller. And it's more than 33 feet back. Yeah, the 33 feet would have put it up in front of the cabin.
Oh.
I need my other hand to zoom. I didn't even drink any water.
Oh, that's so.
So this is all, you'll see nails and staples because they're where that was that, insul brick siding, so that's why you see nails and staples. But this is all 1850 black ash.
Wow.
Yeah, they lived in here from 1850 until 1986.
86.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's my
Wow.
time.
Yeah, like I think this house. Our house won't back that long.
That's kind of spooky at first glance. I wasn't gonna say anything.
The speaker behind it, I've even worried.
So this is the log cabin, and it was really cool to explore and look around and see stuff that we used in the past that was like even more efficient than the stuff that we have today, like these pull-out drawers for potatoes and stuff. But anyways, yeah, it was really cool, and now we're heading off to the school to see more about that.
Right? So, all of this tin in the foyer here, this is all 1861 tin.
Wow.
Yeah, in cloakrooms, all 1861 tin.
Something that I didn't get mentioned on the video was the education level at this school. It was so high. You were getting such good information at such young ages that these guys were like ahead of everyone else outside of their community.
Oh, what's really amazing to me is that in 1850, in the United States, there was a lot of turmoil going on. The fugitive slave law was happening, but the people in Pittsburgh heard about what was happening here, and they were very proud of the fact that the blacks were so well established and getting educated. Right. So they sent a beautiful 550-pound bronze bell, and they shipped it from Pittsburgh to Buxton, to the academy at Raleigh, Canada West. So naturally it summoned people to church, to school, but most importantly, when you heard that bell ring, you knew another family or another person had arrived here in freedom.
That thing carries.
Ring it like you mean it.
I'm confused how to ring it.
Yeah, I like that. Turn it. Turn it. Yeah. So this is the replica of the original bell that sits in the church that's just down the road. That was built in 1858.
If you made it this far, please subscribe. Like, you enjoy my content, you enjoy when I post this video, or videos like this, so hit the subscribe button. No harm, no foul. See you guys later. Peace.